I turned 13 the day my Uncle Ray handed me the strangest birthday present I'd ever received. "Found it while I was in this little village in South America," he said, grinning as he plopped the wrapped bundle in my hands. "It's one of a kind." I tore the paper off, revealing a small statue carved from some kind of dark wood. It was a misshapen man, hunched and twisted, with exaggerated features, a long nose, sharp teeth, and hands that seemed too big for its tiny frame. Its eyes, inset with polished stones, glinted eerily in the light. "Wow," I said, though a part of me wanted to chuck it back at him. Something about it felt wrong. Still, I thanked him, because that's what you're supposed to do. That night, I placed the statue on my dresser, its wide, toothy grin facing my bed. I felt uneasy under its gaze, but I told myself it was just a hunk of wood, nothing to worry about. I fell asleep, but something woke me in the middle of the night. A faint sound, thump, 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 like a distant drum. I sat up, straining to hear. It was so quiet I thought I might have imagined it. Then I noticed the statue. It was still on the dresser, but no longer facing me. It was turned slightly to the side, its head tilted at an angle I didn't remember. My heart pounded. I told myself I must have bumped it earlier and tried to go back to sleep. But the next morning, when I went to grab a t-shirt from my dresser, I noticed scratches on the surface, thin and deliberate, like claw marks. I didn't mention it to my parents. They wouldn't have cared. They'd only grumble about Uncle Ray's weird souvenirs cluttering up the house. So I stayed quiet. The following night, the drums returned, this time louder, steady and rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. I opened my eyes and froze. The statue wasn't on the dresser anymore. It was on the floor, halfway across the room, its tiny hands outstretched toward my bed. I screamed. My parents rushed in, and I pointed at the statue, stammering about how it moved. They exchanged worried looks. "It's just a bad dream, honey," my mom said, picking up the statue. "See? It's fine." "No," I said, shaking my head. "It's not. I swear it moved." Dad frowned, but didn't say anything. Mom set the statue back on the dresser and told me to get some sleep. The next morning, I found broken glass in the kitchen, plates and mugs shattered on the floor. My parents blamed the wind and a window left open, but I knew better. The statue wasn't on my dresser anymore. It was sitting on the dining room table, grinning at me with those horrible teeth. That's when I told them everything. The drums, the scratches, the statue moving on its own. To my surprise, they believed me. Maybe it was the fear in my voice or the weirdness of the broken dishes, but they decided to get rid of it. We packed the statue in a box, drove hours to another state, and dumped it at a random thrift store. I felt lighter as we drove home, like a weight had been lifted. But that night, as we settled in to watch TV, the faint sound of drums began again. My stomach sank. Thump, thump, thump. We turned toward the living room, and there it was, the statue, sitting on the coffee table, grinning at us like it had never left. My mom screamed. My dad cursed, backing away. I couldn't move. Its stone eyes seemed to gleam brighter, and the drumming grew louder, faster. Then I saw its fingers twitch. "Burn it," my dad whispered, his voice trembling. "We're burning it." But I wasn't sure fire would be enough. Not anymore.